look at inheritance, one of the other pillars from an object-oriented perspective. And to do that, we have to have a couple different classes because inheritance relies on a parent-child relationship of different types of classes. So what I have created right now is I have a start class that has a demo method that does a couple different things. It makes objects of a TV, computer, and belt. And then I have my television class, my computer class, and I have my belt class. And in each of them, I have some attributes and I have some methods which probably make sense. So for television, I have some attributes and you can buy it and repair it. From a computer perspective, I have some attributes and I have some methods that you can buy it, repair it, and upgrade it. And then from a belt perspective, I've got some attributes and I've got a method to buy it. What I want to do is I want to look for some similarities between this because I don't want to replicate or repeat the same thing over and over again. So I identified the attributes that were common across all three of these different types of products. So you'll see I have them all highlighted there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a parent class for all of these different classes. And rather than have these attributes sitting in here in the child classes, I'm going to move these up to a parent class that's called product. So what happens now is that anything a parent has, and when I tie the child class together, they actually have the same attributes as the parent. So if I get rid of these attributes, all the common ones in the various classes, so in television I got rid of them, and in computers I got rid of them, and in belt I got rid of them, I'm now down to unique attributes for those three different classes. Now, how do I tie these together to the parent class so that I still have access to those same attributes? Well, what I do is it's called inheritance. I establish a parent one. So a parent one looks just like a normal class. I don't do anything different with it. I just go ahead and define it the way I would normally. But for all the children ones, I have to add in to the where I do public class. I have to say I extends. I extends, not extends, with an S there, and I tell it what the parent class is. So in this case, it's product. So belt extends the product, single, the product class, and I'm going to repeat that now for my computer class, and I'm going to repeat that for my television class. So now that I have all those created, they actually have not only the attributes present in themselves, but they also have attributes that are present in the parent class. So if I come back here to parent, looks like we have a little bit of a problem here. Oh, so what I have now is that because I made them all private, if you remember how we work on a private perspective, I don't have access to those outside the class. So even though I built a relationship between the children classes of television, computer, and belt, and the parent of product, the private specifically says only things in this exact class have access to it. Now, I have a couple different ways I can fix this. So the quickest way is I'm going to go ahead and take out private and just go ahead and go with my attributes without an access modifier. And if you remember, what happens there is the access modifier defaults to package protected, which means that anything in this package has access to it. And if you look up here at the top, all of these have the same package. So now I have visibility into each one of those. Okay, so let me go back over to start here and we can make those different objects. And I'm going to go ahead and run this. So I'm going to call the demo static method from the public static void main. So I'm just going to go ahead and call demo. Notice it's italicized. Go ahead and run that. Make sure everything is saved. And what happens now is when I ran the toString for my different objects, it doesn't give me anything, and you'll see this because you're going to make this mistake at some point. It tells you that in the CST105 week 3 D2 television class, it's now pointing to this memory location. You can't really do much with it. It just kind of shows up there. So the last thing I want to do before I go end this video is I want to add toStrings to all of my classes here. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to say, let's see, actually, let me go to product here. Go ahead and do our toString in the product one. So I'm going to right click, go to source, and I'm going to go to add toString. And I want to add all the attributes that I have access to. So I'm going to go ahead and generate that. and I put it up here at the top, and I'm just going to go ahead and move it down here to the bottom part. And I'm going to go ahead and run this again and see what happens. Okay, so I made objects of television, computer, and belt, and none of those have a two-string in it. So television doesn't have a two-string, computer doesn't have a two-string, belt doesn't. But if they don't have it, they're going to look at their parent and say, hey, I don't have a two-string, but do you? And sure enough, in product, I have access to a two-string where it prints out the name, price, SKU, and brand. And if I run this, those are the pieces of information that I get. Name, price, SKU, and brand. It's giving me the default values because I didn't populate anything. It is not giving me the unique attributes for television, computer, or belt. So it's not seeing resolution or is smart for television. It's not seeing is on RAM or space for computer. It's not seeing size and color for it because at the parent level, it doesn't know anything about its children. Children only know about the parent level. So anyway, I'm going to leave it off at that point. The important part here is I created a parent class, which looks just like a normal class. And then I use the extends keyword to tell it what the parent is. So all three of these, belt, computer, and television, all extend the product class. And if I try to access a method that's in the child class and it doesn't exist, it will look in the parent class, and it found the two-string for our printout at that particular point. So in the next one, we're going to talk about constructors. Thank you.